Hi. Have you ever played whack-a-mole? You know that game at the fair where you're in front of this and randomly the mole pops out of the hole and you have to hit it with a hammer? Well, that's kind of like our market is right now. And we're going to explain that in our Central Alberta monthly market minute. We're seeing random pockets of our inventory kind of take off the mole, and two or three will sell. You whack it, and then it goes down in the hole again. And sometimes that street or that area will go dormant for a little bit. And that's what happens when you have a changing market. And as our market shifts, we'll kind of have that whack-a-mole kind of ride through different neighborhoods, different towns, and it's really hard to predict. But let's go take a look at the inventory levels, and let's look at some of the sales. We'll compare that to last year, and then we'll make an analogy at the end of what we think is happening moving forward. Okay, aside from the media's telling us that the sky's falling, the markets are cooling, and you're going to be losing all this money in real estate, I don't necessarily think that that's true. Number one, here in Central Alberta, we never had that super crazy spike. We had a real busy time, February, March, April. It was crazy. Personally, I didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. People were making decisions weren't necessarily based on reality. It was based on in the moment. So let's take a look at some of that. So if we want to take a look, let's look at our individual markets, and we'll look at Red Deer first. And Red Deer is our mothership of all sales. Okay. Right now, Red Deer has 339 detached homes on the market. A year ago, we had 433. That's a 24% reduction in the number of properties available. Having said that, our sales have gone from 119 to 83, which is about 25%. So as the inventory levels have dropped, so have the number of sales. What's that tell us? That tells us this, that number one is that demand and that supply is probably still in check to a certain point. Personally, I think if we had more homes on the market, there would be more buyers. There's just not enough inventory of good inventory, priced right inventory for the buyers to make a decision right now to kind of motivate them to move forward. That's just my opinion. But if you take a look at median prices in Red Deer, right now they've gone up they're still 1.74% up from when they were a year ago. Okay. If you take a look at Red Deer inventory levels, as I said, in the detached category at 339. If we go back to February, we were at 227. Same number at 113 sales. Okay. So February to now, the inventory still jumped, and there was 2 months of inventory then. And if you look at September, we have 4 months inventory. So we've jumped a little bit in inventory. Sales are still good. They're not great, but at least our inventory numbers haven't jumped way too high. Okay, let's take a look at Sylvan Lake. Sylvan Lake in the detached category, there's 71. Now, today is the 15th or the 14th of October. The monthly market minute is a little late. Sorry, I was away on a personal holiday. But as I look at these numbers now, I just double check them. They're actually at 54. So we've dropped from 71 to 54 in 2 weeks. Craziness. Now, the number of inventory we had last year was 77 at the end of September, and it's gone down 15%. So even in Sylvan Lake, our inventory has dropped 15% from where it was a year ago. 2.6 months of inventory. Actually, it's 2 months of inventory as we're sitting here today. Okay, interesting. We take a look at Lacombe. Okay, Lacombe has 4.8 months of inventory in the detached category, a total of 58, whereas last year they had 74. It's down 13%. So that's our saving grace right now, is our inventory levels aren't rising too much. Because then the supply and demand gets out of whack. Last year at this time, they had 3.7 months of inventory. Okay, they had 74. And this year we have 58, so it's definitely gone down. The sales in Lacombe, we had 20 detached a year ago and 12 September of this year. So just softening a little bit across the board, but it had to soften from where it was. Okay. It was crazy in the middle part of the year. Black Falls. Okay. Take a look at inventory on Black Falls. A year ago, we had 81 homes in that detached category. And today we have 46. Okay. 46. So that's a big difference. That's a 42% change. 21 sales last year, 14 this year. Let's look at some of our key market indicators. Okay, so months of inventory. Look at this graph. The number of sales across the board, the months of inventory is on a rise. If you look at Black Falls, a little drop here between August and September. That could fluctuate month to month. If you notice, we do have a slow increase. March and April, we were down under around a month. Now we're up to, say, 4 months, like I said, in Red Deer, 2 months here in Sylvan Lake. Number of sales trend. If you look at it, and if you look at the Red Deer line in particular, it looks like the sky is falling. No, it's not. If you were to look at a normal sales graph, it would always peak at the end of May or June and always tail off into what we call our fall market of the end of the third quarter into the fourth quarter. That is a natural phenomenon with all markets here in Central Alberta on a yearly basis. So this is doing what it's supposed to do. Now, if we see the number continue to go down, then there might be a little bit more cause for concern. So at this point, as a seller, we've always said this: make sure you are priced right. If you're a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home under $350,000 and you are priced right, even if you have a garage, you are still a sought after piece of inventory. If your home is in good shape and it shows well, I believe it will sell. Okay. And the days on market is going to really fluctuate here in this market. But like I said, if it's priced right, you should sell probably within the first 45 to 60 days maximum. Okay. If you're a buyer, just know the inventory, know what should be priced right and what priced isn't. Typically you do. You go look at 3 or 4 houses, you know right away which ones are a good deal based on price, based on location, and based on how it makes you feel from an emotional standpoint. So just know your inventories, know what you're doing, and by God, please go get pre-approved. Sounds like October 22nd, we could have another 0.5%, 0.75% rate hike. Okay, so make sure you get that pre-approval in place and protect your rates moving forward. Okay, remember, whack-a-mole, not cool, but it is what it is. We're going to have to hang out here in this market for the next little while. Homes are still selling, and they're still selling for a really good price. So just make sure you do your homework when you're both buyer and both seller. Remember, here at we are fiercely local here at the Trilliant Real Estate Group. It'd be an honor to help you. Make sure you send us a message, DM us, text us, whatever. We'd love to help you. Have a great day.